Hello, my name is Donovan Ochoa, and this is my presentation on psychologist Karen Horney. Some of the major contributions she had to psychology are the neurotic needs, which are the 10 defenses against psychology, which develop into personality and affect the behavior. And some of them are like affection and approval, power, admiration, self sufficiency. And then there's the neurotic trends, which is the theory that people either move towards, which is like somebody who needs a partner, like friends, or just like a lover. And then there's a moving against, which is somebody who like kind of needs control or dominance over other people. And then the moving away, which is like somebody who just doesn't really care and has a lack of goals. She was born in 1885 on September 16 in Germany and had an older brother along with other children from her dad's previous marriage. In 1904, her parents divorced, with her mom leaving her with her dad and brother. In 1906, she attended the University of Freiburg despite her parents' wishes. Also, society's like view on women going to college. And then in 1909, her interests shifted towards psychoanalysis, attending the University of Berlin. In 1910, she married Oscar Horney, which is a law student she met at University of Berlin. In 1911, she faced the death of her mother alongside like bringing her first child, which she named Bridget. In 1913, she interned at the Urban Hospital Berlin, where she treated physically and mentally ill patients, and she also gave birth to her second child, Marianne. In 1914, she began to train psychiatry at Berlin Legwitz Sanitarium. In 1915, she graduated from the University of Berlin, also giving birth to her last child, Renee. And then in 1919, she was the first female analyst at Berlin Psychoanalytic Clinic and Institute. In 1923, her brother passed away from a pulmonary infection. In 1926, Karen and Oscar separated, and she took her daughters with her. And then in 1931, she left the Berlin Psychoanalytic Society due to members not accepting her ideas. In 1932, she was offered a position as assistant director of Chicago Psychoanalytic Institute to the United States, and she took her two younger daughters with her. In 1934, she left the institute because many of the members disagreed with her. So she moved to Brooklyn to lecture at a new school for social research, and then she also became a teacher at the New York Psychoanalytic Institute. In 1937, she published her first book called The Neurotic Psych- Personality of Our Time. In 1939, she published New Ways in Psychoanalysis. In 1941, uh, she faced a lot of criticism for like all of the views that she had that were like kind of opposite to Freud's, and then it led to her expulsion from the New York Psychoanalytic Institute. And then after that, like she helped found the American Institute of Psychoanalysis and served as the dean. In 1952, she passed away due to liver cancer. Some of the main world events that happened during Horney's life was the World War One in 1914, where she saw an increase in the amount of people who wanted to seek psychiatric treatment. The war left Germany economically and socially unstable, leaving many of the citizens feeling hopeless. And then this type of hopelessness is what Horney calls basic anxiety. In 1918, that was when the influenza pandemic happened, where and then Horney emphasizes how relationships are important to control anxiety, and since the pandemic forces people into isolation, human connection is harder to achieve. And then Horney is able to see how the isolation affects people. And then 1929 was the Great Depression, and then Horney places a lot of importance on societal and environmental factors influencing behavior. And then the Great Depression was able to show it with many people like in the financial situations were kind of in a horrible spot, so it caused them to become depressed and lose hope in their lives. And then in 1939 with the World War II, which reinforced her beliefs that um, basic anxiety and social and economic conditions reinforce an individual's personality and their behavior. Some of Karen Horney's books are The Neurotic Personality of Our Times in 1937, where she talks about environmental and social conditions determining individual personality and are the causes of personality disorders. And then in 1939, she published New Ways in Psychoanalysis, which is a critique on Freudianism that suggests new forms and techniques to therapy. In 1967, she was a Feminine Psychology was a publication of Horney's essays on the psychosexual development of women. And then these are some of the sources. And thank you for listening.